This is a Fox 11 special.
It's hard out there for a teen. Stereotypes, unsafe streets, trouble in the neighborhood. People just trying to get by.
For African American youth, the stereotypes are compounded by a very harsh reality. Across the nation, there is an achievement gap. In fact, test scores would suggest the worst, that there is a whole class of America's kids that is falling behind.
When we going to man up and say enough is enough.
Year after year, these three teachers saw the dismal test score numbers for black students. Finally, they'd had enough. First, they got mad. Then they got moving. Tonight, we'll show you how local African American high school students brought up their test scores, and with it, their pride.
The Village with Tony McEwen.
Come on.
Chris Krenko is young, gifted, and black.
We are the future, and they need to understand that we have something to say.
The filmmaker, musician, and activist credits a program called The Village for tapping into his talents.
I want to empower the black community because there's a big problem in the black community. It's called bridging the gap. And it's basically between the older civil rights generation and the new hip-hop generation. And The Village is, I think, a very good tool as far as helping the kids these days to understand the importance of their history and where they come from, where their parents and their grandparents come from.
The high school senior is one of 300 African-American students at Cleveland High in Reseda who are part of The Village, a group founded by these three teachers to raise academic standards and cultural awareness.
We were looking at gender issues, just looking at the potential that these kids have and how it probably was being wasted, that it had no real direction, no mentorship.
It's not that these kids can't achieve, they just don't know how to do it.
It was a simple equation and a tragic one. Year after year, the African American students' test scores for the statewide Academic Performance Index exam were dismal.
It made us angry, embarrassed. Those emotions turned into action, and the action took the form of us creating an organization known as The Village, using the old African American proverb, it takes a village to raise a child.
When African American students found out that their test scores were actually lower than the scores of students who spoke English as a second language, they were shocked, and many of them were moved to tears.
I knew that there was an achievement gap, but I didn't know that there was an actual gap. Like, we were below everybody. That was a eye-opener for me and for other students. They even got a lot of students mad. I came the next day on a mission. I got there on time. I didn't guess on any questions. I took it seriously, and a lot of other students did too.
The Village founders presented the students with a challenge, and they rose to the occasion.
The results have been phenomenal. That first year, we jumped 53 points, and it shocked and amazed everybody from Sacramento on down.
Since the program began, the test scores of African American students have shot up nearly 100 points. Now think about this. 6 points is considered a really big deal by educational officials. And now Cleveland High is considered a California distinguished school.
Village co-founder Fluke Fluker offers can-do candor, pulling no punches.
Why is it that there might be beef with Black Brown? Why is it that our population fills up the jail cells? Why is it that more of us graduate from State Penn rather than Penn State? These are some for real questions. And they're going to lead to some for real answers.
They telling it like it is. They keep it straight up. There's no sugarcoating whatsoever.
Parents say they've seen a huge difference.
I'm going to be eternally grateful. It's a wonderful testament to the human spirit, what people can do when a little interest is shown in them.
This senior says thanks to The Village, she now holds her head a bit higher.
You become whoever you want to be, and you are not that stereotype, and you should refuse to be that stereotype.
Cornoris Atkins says his football scholarship to Washington State wouldn't be possible without the study techniques and life skills he learned here.
It has helped me become a better person. It has allowed me to look at what came before our generation and appreciate that, and not just, take any of it for granted.
Bob Collins is the Chief Instructional Officer for Secondary Instruction at the LA Unified School District, and he says the district's learning their own lessons from the village.
As educators, we look at the stats. We never have the kids look at the stats. And I was very impressed with the idea that the first thing they did was really have the young people come to grips with their own achievement levels, which I think shocked a lot of the young people.
Fluke Fluker says the funny thing is, it never was just about test scores.
Our initial goal was to give them the tools to make better choices. So all this testing stuff, as great as it is and as high as it has climbed, that's actually a byproduct. And that actually is not the ultimate focus of what we're trying to do here.
But the kids will tell you the soaring scores go hand in hand with their self-esteem.
We're definitely more proud and more aware on all levels.
Test scores jumping an amazing 53 points for African American students in 2003, up another 37 points in 2004.
Coming up, we'll take you to an all-male village meeting where a famous rapper shares a secret that drove him to get an education.